All right, let me just show just one thing for fun from my high school yearbook, as long as we're talking about yearbook.
Is this part of the disclosure for your campaign?
It can be, but like senior year was going to be the year that I got a girlfriend because I was student body president, and
was this your real high school
my
year?
real a year which I pretty much had a nervous breakdown because I was so bummed out that I didn't get a girlfriend.
You were a student body president in the real high school you went
Yes.
to?
Yeah, student body co-president. They had one boy and one girl.
But so you were a success in high school.
Not at getting a girlfriend because some elections are for popularity, based on popularity. Class president, popularity. Student body president, competence. People thought I was maybe the most competent boy running for that office. But that didn't convince anybody that they should go out with me. Though looking back, there were one or two people I maybe could have gone out with, but I was so clueless that I didn't go with it. I was too busy stewing in my own resentment that nobody would go out with me to go out with these girls, or at least one I remember. And if I could go back in time, I would go out with this girl. But so I was gonna get a girlfriend because I was student body president. And I joined all these clubs, and people were gonna see how active I was, and somebody was gonna be impressed with me. Probably not a junior or a senior because they knew I was full of shit, but maybe a sophomore. But month after month went on, and nobody liked me. I didn't know how to, develop relationships. All I knew how to do was join club after club. And after a few months, I realized that it was another year where it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, fuck it. Nobody's going to be my girlfriend, but at least I'm going to get my picture in the yearbook more than any other person. And you know frickin' what? Frickin' did it. I got my picture in the yearbook 11 times. Look, it took 3 lines to have the number of pages I'm on listed. And in each picture, if it was a group picture, I tried to be the guy who was situated highest in the picture. Sure. 264, 244.
Is there any double title comments?
No, because some yearbooks let you write a big slug of copy. Well, here I am. Look at that hair. Look at that beautiful. Who wouldn't want?
Get in the light.
Okay. Who wouldn't want to date a guy with beautiful late 70s?
There's no glare.
70s poofy hair. Look at that dude.
You got your finger on
A handsome mane of hair.
You got to turn the picture. Yeah. Now turn the camera. I mean the book. Oh, the other way. The other way. The other way. Yeah, there you go.
That hair took so much work with a blow dryer and a comb to get it sufficiently unjewy.
Now, what does it say? What's the caption?
I was a national merit semifinalist in that picture. And then this is just my regular senior picture. Here's one of my best friends. That's Lon Sherritt. Another one of my best friends, Dave Schechter. This guy got to make out with a lot of people.
Is that your Mike Judd?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, there's glare.
He wasn't racing. He was just a really good guy.
Okay, and you are next to him?
No, I'm on this page somewhere. I believe. They're right. Whoa! Look at that hair. Who wouldn't go out with that big old head of hair?
Oh,
Hey, besides everybody.
Look
at that guy.
Karate Kid.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody wanted to go out.
Now
with that
turn
guy.
the Last American Virgin right there. Now turn the book this way.
Which
Or
one?
like keep it, hold it straight, yeah. And then back it up a little bit on the light. There you go. That way we don't get no glare.
Wow, you really had great hair.
Now turn it. Okay, we're still getting glare. Turn it straight the other way. Yeah, but in the light.
This is like the burning of the library in Alexandria. It's such a great loss.
What, the hair has gone away?
Yeah, I mean, to lose that is one of the great
Yeah,
losses.
I never thought my hair would fall out. I thought
Yeah, it
that
looks
that
so
kind of hair I'd
crazy.
have forever.
Magnificent.
Let's see.
Wait, I have something to say on the Kavanaugh thing. if that's
Okay.
with
All right, go ahead, Wally. You say, well, oh, here I am dressed as a lady on a high school float.
Oh.
That's we're the girl
Oh my God.
head of the school and the boy head of the school. And on the float, we decided to switch genders. So even
Oh,
then, I
you were
was
way ahead of time.
supporting trans rights.
Very,
Okay, now turn the picture.
there you are again.
Yep. With my jean jacket, because I thought jean
There,
jacket.
and there you are
Yeah,
again.
now, for some reason, I should have been up here, because I always try to be the,
Okay, let's get, all right, hold that good. You want to see that?
I don't know.
Yeah, people love that.
Uh,
So there were your trans heart. Wow, you look beautiful. Now, what does the caption read?
Who's who, which is
Oh,
who's the
that
boy
could
and
be a
who's the
scandal
girl.
right
Yeah,
there. We're giving you competitor. Now, where else are you?
yeah. I'm right here,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
right here.
Damn, you're all over the place.
Yeah, but
And what's the
none of
caption?
that got me a
Rick
girlfriend.
Choice to explain that what?
That he has other things to do besides running Boulder High School.
Uh-oh, that
Yeah.
can be used against you.
I don't know.
They're gonna say, what other things were you thinking about, Rick
I wanted to
Rosner?
get a girlfriend. Let's see. Here I am on newspaper somewhere.
Come
again.
on, Lance, you gotta comment on this.
no, I think you guys are handling
Yeah,
it.
all right, that's enough. The
Where
resilient.
else are you?
I'm somewhere
One
in
more,
this.
one more.
All right, I'm
You're all
somewhere
over
in
the
this
place.
picture.
She's hot. She's the tree.
Yes, Cece Langhart.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, cheerleader.
Oh my God.
I want to see that one.
Oh, see, sometimes I had to wear glasses.
Is that you, Rick?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Where's CC? Whatever.
Langhart. Next page. Next page.
We're trying to show.
There she go. Cece Langhart.
Let's show the camera. Let's show the world.
Yeah, so I remember stuff
See you
from
with
high
glasses
school.
real quick.
Yeah, it's sad because I didn't have contacts at that point, so I'd take them off and then I'd be blind and I'd try to move through the school, getting close enough to people to see who they are, faking that I wasn't blind. Because look
Hold
at
that,
the glasses.
hold
The
that.
glasses are creepy.
Oh, we gotta focus. Just hold it right there.
Glasses were not cool back in 1978.
Hold that. There we go. Hold it. Hold it. I read Rick Rosner's sneers at the thought of another student council meeting. Uh-oh! Rick Rosner was sneering.
Yeah.
That's
no,
doesn't have the temperament of a
I do
potential
not. I do not.
politician.
I do not. I hated. I was a terrible student council president.
That's it. The campaign has been.
I don't know, maybe 40
Alright.
years later, I
So-
won't suck.
Since we're getting personal, I've debated about whether to say this. I'm going to tell a brief personal story, okay?
Sure.
Now I'm not going to go into the details because it doesn't help what I'm trying to say, and it's nobody's business. I was at a job one time, and a woman accused me of something, and I ended up being wiped out because of this. And the woman,
Wiped out. You lost the job.
I'm not going to get into the
Okay.
details.
All right. Okay.
So what happened was, when I was confronted with what she said about me, it was like a novel. It was detailed. She went into the most fine detail. It was like, this person put a huge amount of time into recording every single aspect. And every word of it was a lie. Every word of it was a lie. And the people that listened to her accusation said, well, she's so detailed. I mean, she's explaining everything so thoroughly. I mean, you're telling us that she went back and wrote down all these elaborate things and details about what happened? Yes, she was a good liar. And if you guys ever want to learn how to really frame a guy, make up a very, very elaborate story that nobody can deny because it was just He said, she said, you were alone, and these were all the things that happened. And so I know that you can be lied about, and that people will believe you if it's a good story. But there's more.
I got to
There's
say,
more.
Hold on.
There's more.
But-
Let me finish my
Let me
point,
just-
Rick. You just spent a half an hour
All
showing
right.
pictures of your dick in high school.
Not my dick.
Okay, so on that note, I saw a report by Michelle Malkin. And if you guys are interested, you can look
A Fox News person.
just type in Michelle Malkin. She's a conservative. And she said that as much as 30% of accusations of sexual misconduct about men are false accusations.
That doesn't match up with most studies.
Right, but she said that there are a lot of studies that are biased towards the women. They're written by feminists, and they want you to think that 98% of the stories are true, and it's just the remote outlier that isn't true. And Michelle Malkin said that there have been more objective studies made, studies of cops, studies of judges, where they come back, and cops are notorious. If you ask a cop, did the wife lie? Did the woman lie? And apparently, according to Michelle Malkin, there are a lot of studies that show that women lie all the time. They lie not all the time. She said as much as 30% and as little as 15%. It's somewhere in that range. I think she said 15, but that a lot of accusations against men are done by women that know that in the climate we have today, you can really fuck a guy over if you lie about him. And as I said last week, I think a guy that commits a rape should be executed. I hate rape more than any other crime. I hate it as much as I hate murder. But I also think a lot of women are getting the idea that they can ruin a guy with a false accusation.
All right, so most studies find that accusations of sexual abuse, sexual assault, and rape are in line with false accusations of other crimes.
No, we can look this up, Rick, because I'm telling you, there is a huge disparity
But
between studies.
I'll go into that because, hold on 1 second, let me just finish. Now, with sexual abuse and rape and sexual assault and harassment, there's more variation in the statistics because usually or often the encounter leaves the body intact. You know, these things are reported way after when a lot of the proof has dissipated, been destroyed. Like murder, it's hard to falsely report a murder because you've got a dead body. With cases of there's a whole range of illegal or legally actionable sexual misbehavior, from bad comments at work to full-on rapey rape. And the studies, what behaviors are encompassed in each study can be different from study to study, but generally it's agreed on, except by Michelle Malkin, that the rates of reporting sexual abuse are pretty low, and that those reports do have a very low false reporting rate of under 5%.
Yeah, and Michelle.
Then I would also, one more thing, I'd also say Occam's razor. Instead of having to tie yourself in a pretzel to believe that Ford is telling the truth, but about another person other than Kavanaugh, and the one who answered all the questions she was asked, maybe believe her and maybe tend not to believe the super evasive guy. Just as a matter of the simplest explanation, or the best explanation being the simplest one.
Well, I've got an even better idea. You're innocent until proven guilty in the United States. But if you want to go with the socialists, we'll make it whoever the Democrats don't like is guilty.
Well, I mean, that's why they're doing the additional investigation.
Yeah, which will prove nothing.
Could be. All right, we'll break.
Let's take a break.
All right, 71.2. Hey, okay, what's your idea, Lance?
Well, it's not an idea. I would just like to say something. And at Lance versus Rick, honesty is the most important thing. We may get the facts wrong, but we're never lying. And last week, I said that Kavanaugh's mother foreclosed on Ford's parents' house, or some words to that effect. It turns out that I was quoting a report from, there were 3 people on Fox News, Laura Ingraham and Judge Janine, who both said that happened. Now, Rick this morning told me I was dead wrong about that. So I've been researching, I spent about an hour, and I found the actual cases and the paperwork. And what we know for sure is that Kavanaugh's mother actually dismissed the case against foreclosing the house, so that the Ford family, the family of the accuser, kept their house.
Her parents still live in the house.
Right. Well, no, they sold it in 2011.
Okay, sorry.
And the case was in 1996, and Judge Kavanaugh ruled to dismiss the foreclosure in 97. Now,
can I give a little bit more detail?
Sure.
According to what I read, and I read the deal is that when Ford's parents got straight with the bank, then the next thing that happens is the bank has to go to the court and say, we're cool with the mortgagees, and you can get rid of the case now. So that's what happened. The bank goes to Kavanaugh's mom and says, we're cool now, and Kavanaugh's like, all right, then case dismissed.
Okay, so if I am willing to say, not knowing any more about the case, like, maybe apparently, this is what drove me nuts. There's practically no record of this case. It's practically impossible to find out what exactly the sequence of events were, and people don't even remember. But I'm holding out. There's a possibility that maybe Kavanaugh's mother put pressure on them and on the family, and they had to pay more than they would have.
I highly doubt it. I think.
But as of now, it looks like the report I heard from Fox from 2 different reporters may have been wrong, and so I'm willing to say that I'm no longer going to say that I was right about that last week. I might have said something that was incorrect. And I'm going on record that as of now, I was probably wrong.
Awesome. One more thing along that, Lance and I end up screaming at each other a lot. But once the camera, these are real screams. We're not being overly dramatic. But we do calm down once we're done talking about politics. Tonight I came here an hour early so Lance can get some extra painting in, and there was no screaming. It's just when we have to talk about politics, then we go crazy. So we're still friends, even though we get all pissy when we talk about these subjects. Now, I want to talk about
Wait, I just want to say, what I think people like about the show is the emotions you see on Lance versus Rick are real, but we get over them. That's
a shorter way of saying it. Now, this volcano, I love the volcano, but you've got one side that slopes like this.
You're not going to be able to see it that way.
All right.
So,
one side of the volcano has this slope, and the other side has a much steeper slope. And there's a thing in physics called something like piling angle. If you open up a salt shaker and you pour out little piles of salt across, like 4 or 5 little piles across, on a table, the slope of each of the piles it's going to form a fairly regular cone with the slope of each of those piles being, all those piles are going to look very similar because they all have the same piling angle. That salt stacks at a certain angle, and so does lava. So that you said you didn't want to make it perfectly symmetrical because you didn't want people to confuse it with the pyramid that you might be putting in. But most volcanoes have fairly symmetrical cones because lava stacks up. It has a certain angle, and that angle is the same all the way around the volcano.
Rick, you fucking asshole. Most of the pictures that I found pictures on the internet. I found pictures on the internet where the fucking volcano was asymmetrical. It had humps.
Well, what
So
can happen?
you're
No,
just
hold
an
on.
arrogant communist prick.
No, what can happen is that you can have an initial cone form from one eruption, and then that eruption cools down, gets plugged up, and then there's another eruption from
Making my argument as usual.
from the side of the volcano, and it can build a second hump. But the slope is going to be, if the lava is the same, the slope is going to be roughly the same all the way around. So I'm just saying it's a beautiful ass volcano, but I think the slopes you can make, and you can put you can build another, you can make it not on the top of the volcano if you want, but the slopes should be more equal because that slope here is like almost 60 degrees, and the slope here is less than 45 degrees. And that's,
should we end this show now? Do we have anything else?
product placement. Our director says that we will do product placement, and I agree, we will. If you've got a product, we'll make a deal with you. And if it's a T-shirt, not only will I wear it on the show, but I'll wear it to the 5 gyms I go to.
Okay, Rick, let me ask you a question. Given the shit we say on this show, I think anybody associated with our show would be protested and shut down by Jesse Jackson.
Corolla says some shit, and I don't listen to Joe Rogan, but I understand that he says some shit.
All right.
What if a politician they may like or something send a shirt with a little fun will wear the politician's T-shirt?
I guess I'll do that, depending on who the politician. I'm not going to wear a Chuck Grassley T-shirt.
For a price, maybe?
Unless it's making fun of Chuck Grassley.
Speaking of Volcano, and just real quick, we have 6 minutes, guys.
Okay.
Trump rallies are volcanic. Some people love them, some people hate them. Rick.
I think it's annoying to me that he's running campaign rallies, throughout, every 3 weeks, every time he needs kind of a boost to his people's morale. It's another thing that Trump, does that other presidents haven't.
When you say his people, you mean the deplorables?
His base. But at the same time, I've quit having diarrhea, except maybe like once a week because of Trump. I've gotten used to him. And I know we're not supposed to, as good liberals, we're supposed to be constantly filled with angst about Trump, but apparently my digestive system has calmed down. So all right, he's having another frickin' rally. It's like, all right, he's going to do what he's going to do. And just everybody get out and vote, on November 6th, and maybe, or whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
I think he's doing the best possible thing he could do for the country, and that is trying to protect his presidency. If the Democrats do well in November, they're going to impeach him. They'll find some woman to say that he looked at her ankles.
Oh, do you mean other than the 19 who have accused him?
Who have all accused him of looking at their ankles, and we'll have to believe them, and he'll have to be removed from office and hopefully shot. So he's got to protect his presidency so that he can keep doing the good things he's doing. And it turns out that Trump is the best weapon we have as Republicans to bring out the vote. I hope he goes to every congressional district and every senatorial district that is in question, because he's our most potent weapon, and I think he's really helping the cause. Obama is doing something presidents never do, and that is he's getting really involved in politics. Most presidents have, either through exhaustion or just decorum or dignity, have sort of retired from politics after they were president, but not Obama. He's trying to protect his legacy, so he's holding these meetings, and I hear they're not that popular. So
Well, you know who is popular is Beto O'Rourke. He's getting
Yeah.
crowds coming out. I think he got 55,000
Right.
people coming out to his last rally.
He's running against Ted Cruz, and he's a good solid 10 points behind. So
Depending on which poll you look at.
yeah, the Democrats will lie, and
You know, or
so
polls just
so far
vary.
he's way behind Cruz. So, but if you want to get excited about it, you go right ahead, Rick.
Texas does disappoint if you're a liberal.
All right.
But,
And Rick, how would, when the Democrats take the Congress and the Senate, what's going to be your impeachment pledge? Why should President Trump be impeached?
the impeachment is a two-step process. And
What has he done?
according to the best statistics, the Democrats have roughly an 80% chance of taking the House, but only a 30% chance of taking the Senate. But even if they take the Senate,
It's 2 minutes.
all right, impeachment starts in the House.
What
And they
does
might
it do?
impeach him. Clinton got impeached, but it doesn't mean once you get impeached, that just means you go on trial in the Senate.
But what has Trump done that merits impeachment? Based on what? What's going to be the charge?
Emoluments clause, financial entanglements with Russia, ethical violations. I don't know. I mean, we've only got 90 seconds left.
Lance, you want to?
But anyway, just to be clear, he can't be kicked out of office because that takes 2/3 of the Senate to say he needs to leave
He's
office.
filibustering. Lance, you want to?
No, that's good. I don't know how the Democrats are going to get 2/3 of the Senate. So, just if all you want to do is cause trouble, I guess you can do that. You know. Do you want to sing Voltaire? Do you want to sing a different song?
We got 30 seconds.
All right, sing something.
All right. Okay, here we go. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving.
Like sing something
today.
clearable that we don't have to pay for.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
That didn't
Oh.
happen.
Oh, you know what? You know what? That beautiful final note on that song where you held that high note.
Y volver, volver, volver a tus brazos otra vez. Llegaría hasta donde estés. Yo sé perder. Quiero volver, volver, volver.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Nice. Order so I can fill in the leaves.
What's this going to be?
I'm just going to give it to Carol. She'll be like, ooh. Or eh. But probably ooh.